What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, back with Tony. Last one for the day.
Yep.
I know you're kind of tired, but today.
Oh man, this is I'm finally able to finish this and then start on my own channel.
Okay, beautiful. So the channel's coming soon. Hopefully today you're showing off Relinquished.
Yes, I am doing Relinquished.
This is a deck I haven't
Master
seen.
Strength.
Like this is definitely a deck that I have not seen. So everything you show me today is something new for me.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Relinquished, like Arnie over there, is weak and gives people a suck. But unlike Arnie, it actually is pretty deceiving on what it could do. So to start off, we have the OG Relinquished.
Okay.
Okay, the effect text is massive still, but they shrunk it down. But here's what it does. You can target one monster upon controls. Equip it to this monster.
Yep.
It gains attack equal to the monster equips. Max 1. If this card would be destroyed by battle, you send the monster instead. Your opponent takes any battle damage that battle takes as well. So it's kind of like this weird. It's like it has no attack and defense, but it gains attack from your opponent's monsters, and the strategy is going to be focused on stealing your opponent's monsters that way.
Kind of like if anyone plays Goat format, it's kind of like a watered down Thousand Eyes.
Yeah. Well, actually, Thousand Eyes is in the deck too, because Relinquish Thousand Eyes is made by Relinquish, right?
Shout out to anime.
Yeah. Next up, we have the support that came from Legendary Duels. We have the 3 Millennium Eyes Illusionist and the 1 Illusionist Faceless Magician.
Yep.
All of these are like tongue twisters. So Faceless Millennium Illusionist here is a hand trap. You can discard it from your hand to target one of your Relinquish monsters and one monster your opponent controls, and equip that monster to your Relinquish monster as if it was equipped by this effect.
Okay.
The text here that says it is that if it was equipped by this effect. That unfortunately means that if your Relinquish monster has that condition of max 1 equip, you can't equip another monster to it. However, the other effect is if a Relinquish monster will be summoned, this gets added to your hand.
Okay.
So pretty decent. Faceless, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite. When a Relinquish monster is sent to the graveyard, you can special this card from your hand.
Okay.
Then, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special one Relinquish or Restrict monster from your graveyard to the field.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Revival. The idea behind this deck will most likely be you're going to summon this or one of your Thousand Eyes monsters, and then just use these to control the board.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. From there, then we actually have support for the deck. We have 3 Sangan and 2 Torgal.
This looks like a New Age Goat format.
Yeah, it feels really goaty, and I'm not going to lie, it kind of does. Sangan is actually really useful, though. Sangan can search for anything when it's sent to the graveyard 1,500 or less.
Yep.
As it turns out, these guys are 1,500 or less. More importantly, though, since this restriction doesn't prevent you, only prevents the effect from being activated, but doesn't prevent the monster from being summoned, you can still summon Relinquished on your field at minimum. The idea behind this is that Torgal can catch you in the Sangan, and then when you ritual summon with Sangan or link it with Sangan, you can grab necessary combo pieces that way.
Nice.
We are playing the Orpheus Scorpio engine. So, the Orpheus Scorpio engine serves a few purposes. First off, when it's summoned, you summon the Darnton Cobra, and when Darnton Cobra is summoned, you search for a fusion. It gets 2 monsters on the field, and then gets you one of the required fusions for your combos. Sometimes that's instant fusion, and sometimes that's Relinquish fusion. But the idea behind this card is it sets up a combo and gives you 2 free monsters.
Nice.
And lastly, we're playing, as a benefit to that Orpheus Scorpio, 2 Edgem Chain.
Okay, so why the chains?
So, Chain has a few effects, but its most important effect is if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you search for a Frightfur card. In this case, you'll be using it to search for Frightfur Patchwork.
Okay.
Why Frightfur Patchwork? Because Frightfur Patchwork, when activated, searches for you a Poly, another Edgem monster. This is its self-contained loop. But the benefit of all this, however, is that one of the cards you do play in the X deck is called Millennium Eyes Restrict. So I want to detour a little bit and go into this little entire spiel.
Okay.
Millennium Eyes Restrict says you need 1 Relinquished and 1 Effect monster.
Yep.
Its effects, however, are pretty busted. First off, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can equip one monster from the field or graveyard to this monster. And then, any monster equipped to it with that name, it calls by the grave zone. Any active effect that they do are negated. Well, it's a monster with the same name as it is equipped to Millennium Eyes.
So I've never seen this hard summoned. I've seen an instant fusion so that you don't lose to like hand traps. So like something like Ash, it'll out hand traps. But what are you doing it in this deck for?
So the idea is, when I initially started building this deck, I thought to myself, well, I guess I have to summon this, maybe get into the grave, and then I could use something like Relinquish Fusion to summon it.
Yep.
Then I slowly realized the ritual summon itself was actually taking up more resources than the actual play, but it wasn't even entirely necessary.
Okay.
A fusion monster doesn't need me to have do it on the field, which means I could summon Millennium Eyes just by rich fusion summoning from hand.
Yep.
This meant that, one, I didn't have to play more cards to get this on the field, but I could just get this to play, and then just fuse whatever resources I needed to get this out.
That makes sense.
And then from there, I could use this to start ruining my opponent's day. What's super nice about this is that, let's say I do fuse something like these two, because this is summoned after these are sent to the graveyard by the poly, order of the poly, this gets added to my hand again.
Nice.
But the idea is that it meant that I didn't have to play like Manjus and Senjus just to get into the ritual spell if I didn't see it. It was just another way for me to get into this, and this is your win condition.
So this is a control-based deck then?
This is definitely a control-based deck. It's a control-based deck that does it really weirdly.
Okay.
So that's why I'm playing this engine. The idea behind this engine is if I open this, I can activate this, get a poly, and an Edgem Chain. Now I just need to relinquish to summon this, but when I poly with this and the relinquish, I then search for a second Fight for Patchwork, and that lets me get into another copy of these two.
Oh, okay.
And then this lets me make a second one potentially.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's super useful that way.
Of course on your opponent's turn, because Patchwork's once per turn, right?
No, yeah, obviously. No, you can't search it twice, but you can actually...
I know what you mean, like you could just continue...
Yeah, you can continue going from there for the following turn and onward. But now, going back to the spells, we play 3 Relinquish Fusion.
Yep.
Relinquish Fusion is kind of like a Miracle Fusion. Lets you fuse from your hand, field, or deck by banishing the material pieces.
Nice.
Most of the time, and probably the only time, you'll be using these to summon out Millennium Eyes. The other effect is while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to target one monster your opponent controls, and one of your Eyes of Strict monsters, and equip it to your monster as if it was equipped by the effect.
Yep.
As a slight detour to this one doesn't have that max 1 condition.
Okay.
So you can drop this and then use any of the number of those other cards to just suck up more monsters and then make him big and then start negating effects.
Okay, so this is where you get around the Thousand Eyes / relinquished condition where it's like, if it has one already, it's kind of...
Yeah, this is the card that equips more.
Okay.
Well, then I'm playing 3, Black Illusion Ritual. I wish I had supers. I don't own supers. Supers are hard to find.
Yep.
But it's just Ritual Summon for Relinquished. Well, then playing 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites. Pre-Prep, as you may know, searches your Illusionist, which then searches your Relinquished. It's just a free ritual setup. Then we're playing 3, we're playing 3 Preparation of Rites. This is just search your Relinquished, just because of the fact that this is, again, where the fusion engine comes in. I wouldn't play this if I had to get the ritual on board.
Yeah.
I don't, though. I just need the monster.
Yeah.
And this is just one more way to get into Relinquished for me to set up the rest of the play.
That makes sense.
From there, we'll play the 1 instant fusion because it gets out Millennium Eyes, it gets out Thousand Eyes Strict, good. We're playing Call by the Hun because you're playing a lot of search. And then we're playing 3 Imperm.
Just
because
standard
negation.
trap in this format,
Yeah.
Instant Fusion can technically also be searched off of Predaplan, right?
Yeah, so the idea is that a lot of times the combo is... I'll show the combos after I do the extra deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, of course, as I said already, the 3 Millennium Eyes Strict, you can summon multiple at once. I have summoned 3 in one turn.
That's actually crazy.
It's just a lot of negation on board. Then we're playing the 1 Celine. As it turns out, these are spellcasters. If you somehow link your way up to this, you can summon these back from the graveyard. Then we're playing 2 Predaplant Verde Anaconda. At this point, it's the same idea as copying Dragoons, except you're going to be dumping Relinquish Fusion, which then lets you fuse. Most likely, a lot of times, you'll be linking away a Relinquished and a monster to make Verde Anaconda, which then means you could dump the fusion to fuse those 2 materials away to summon out the Millennium Eyes that way.
Okay.
And then because you dumped the fusion, next turn, that fusion is live. Actually, that turn, that fusion is live to banish to take one of your opponent's monsters.
Okay, there you go.
And it's super useful that way. Aside from that, it's just a beater. It's a mini beater. Then we're playing 2 Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is the other extent of them in the combo. You can use this instead to bring back combo pieces that you've already used. But there's a lot of combos where I've actually linked away a Millennium Eyes and another monster, summon the Cross Sheep, then activate Relinquish Fusion or Poly to summon a Millennium Eyes to the zone points to, and then Cross Sheep will trigger and bring back the other Millennium Eyes I sent to the graveyard.
Oh, okay. That's actually kind of dope.
And because the super nice part is that because Relinquish Fusion is a quick play, I could do this on my opponent's turn out of nowhere.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There was actually like one situation where I had a Millennium Eyes engraved and I used this one already, and I quick played this one out to summon another monster and then summon this back.
Nice.
That was back when I was playing other fusions, I guess. Then I'm playing the Amaraj, just because Amaraj is Amaraj, and the one Anima.
Makes sense.
And then, of course, the Thousand Eyes. You don't actually make this a lot. You can only make this usually through instant fusion. But sometimes it's nice just being able to have like a Thousand Eyes Strict and a Millennium Eyes on the field, so your opponent can't run over either.
That makes sense. Also, it's just an out to some problematic monsters going second.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So show me this combo, because honestly, I did not think Relinquish had combos.
Relinquish generally don't have combos, but you do have things you could do with at least something like a Verde Anaconda.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, I have Verde Anaconda and I open... I don't know, let's say the Edgem Chain.
Okay.
Wherever that Edgem Chain is. I can go normal summon this,
Yeah.
discard the Edgem Chain. Summon out this.
Yep.
Activate effect of this to search for your instant fusion.
Yep.
This will also trigger as well, first off, and grab you the patchwork.
Yep.
Activate the patchwork, grab the poly, grab another chain. Just advantage.
Yep.
Link these two away. You can either summon Cross Sheep in this case,
Yep.
or you can summon out Verde Anaconda if you want to do it. I probably will summon Cross Sheep.
Okay.
Then I'm going to activate the instant fusion to summon out something like the Millennium Eyes.
Sure.
Now if I recall, in this case, this is where the poly came in. Because sometimes I would then use these to diffuse for another monster, just to get this back.
Oh, that makes sense, because can't you use... Does it have to be a Relinquish for this?
No. No, you have to fuse for another monster, which is why, again, I think I was playing another target.
Oh, but you're notorious for 14 cards.
Yes. However, what you can do is that since you summon a fusion monster, you can bring something back. Let's say this Verde Anaconda.
Yep.
You then link these two away. Summon out Selene.
Yep.
Selene, in this case, has minimum 2 counters.
Yeah, because you have 2 cards in this graveyard?
And then I remove the 2 counters, summon back this.
Okay. Oh, and then now this won't die because instant fusion.
Yeah, then I link these two away, make Access Code Talker, and then tell my opponent to go suck it.
Oh, okay. And then obviously this is just a 2-card combo. If you open like Relinquish, then you can summon a second one of these technically.
Yeah.
And then
If I open a Relinquish, what ends up happening is that I could go Fusion, fuse these two away,
to make a second.
to summon a second Millennium Eyes. And that would also be, like, at that point, I have double Millennium Eyes, and this will be an extra spell engrave. And
Yeah,
that
okay,
means
yeah.
I get more counters.
That makes sense. Okay, perfect. Thank you for the profile. I appreciate it. Relinquish is something we definitely don't see every day.
Yeah, honestly, I only built this deck because it got cheaper, like, with the release of
Reprints?
Legendary Duelist.
Yeah.
I would never build this, and I strongly support this. Never build a deck if it's too expensive for no reason.
These were like $50 at one point, maybe
Oh,
more.
yeah. And then they limited instant fusion, and this card became $30, and that was still too much.
That's still a lot of money if you think about it for a deck like this. But
Yeah.
anyways, thank you for the profile. If you guys enjoyed this profile, like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
With that, Spanko signing off.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit.